Hello there, I'm SilentApollo, and welcome to my Let's Play of Factorio, Space Age, all achievements, but without the brains. This is episode 12, and it's the last of the preparation episodes before we actually get started with the main run. In this one, I add circuit conditions to the final ship and test ride it through space, surprisingly. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want more, subscribe. Otherwise, I genuinely don't know what you'd be watching this video for. I can't even speak. I genuinely don't know what you would be watching this video. Watching this video. Why is that so hard? And then, circuit network. So, let's see. Just immediately under the solar panel. Here. I had no idea. So that's all hooked up all the way around. Yep. Okay. Nice. We're just waiting on all sorts of things. Clear fuel, ice, grabbers. Are these all on set filter? Yeah. Okay. They're currently all disabled, which means they're not picking up anything. Okay. Right, let's quickly save this blueprint. I'm going to change this to Aquilo, there, and the Shattered Planet. Okay. I definitely want to put in some circuit logic in here to handle fueling this array. So what I need is a pump and a pipe. That's it. I think. Yep, and then I guess we put that on the red circuit. Enable if fuel is greater than 0. Oh. And we can do some fancy circuit logic in here. Make sure that we don't fill this up with fuel when we're stationary. Because at the moment they're filling up with fuel, and when they fill up, when we hit go, it causes the ship to go at max speed, which, I mean, admittedly, I've made this significantly longer, so it might not be too bad. I don't know what the max speed of this thing is. But I think it's still safer to reduce the amount of fuel coming in on the circuit network. Okay. So now I need to decide how much stuff I want on the belts. So for that, what we do is we grab constant combinator. And I'm in remote view, so I can actually place it. And we say for this, let's put 500 for this, 500. And this, put 200. And actually, let's ramp this up to 1000. And this one also, just for now. And then I can actually have this on. No, it's gonna have to be a separate network. Yeah. Then we grab this decider combinator, put it in there. The green circuit is signal logic, and the red circuit, it's very confusing. Feed all belts, loops all the way around, almost, apart from these few undergrounds in here. That's okay. So for each item on the red circuit, if it's less than each item on the green circuit, output each item, but with an input count of 1. Instead, so that these signals tell us that we want more firearms, more rockets, and more railgun ammo. And that, I think, is actually good to hook up to that network. So the red ones are signaling that. Cool. The other things we want are, of course, add a section. This, and this. Oh, what do you know? They're all being set. Nice. You just change this number to 30. And no, let's do 50. 50 of each type. And that means that we should be collecting ores for a good while. And once we've got 50 of each type stacked up, then we'll stop collecting them. And hopefully there's enough space on the belt for that. The reason I'm not too worried about these is because we're using stack inserters for those. Right, so this red, currently the red circuit network, this one, houses all the things that we want and the fluids that we've got, right? So how come our oxidizer is down but our burst of fuel isn't? Oh, it's because I'm not pumping out fuel. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like that. I can put the fuel logic on here as well. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be our launch condition. And I'm going to put it here. And the launch condition is the red circuit. And there are multiple things that we want to check for. First, we want to make sure that we've got all the ammo. Ammo equals 0. And rocket ammo equals 0. And railgun ammo equals 0. Then we also want to check that we've got enough thruster fuel. It's greater than. We've got the, let's say 20,000. And same with oxidizer, greater than 20,000. Cool. then what we output is a circuit signal, the green tick, set with a condition of 1. So when we've got ammo of each type and fuel, we're good to launch, basically. That's what that means. I think there's also something to be said for reading in the green signals from here. Read contents and send to platform. Nice. And the red signals are output signals from there. Okay, so green. So we just want these to be on from the red circuit. And I think when we've got enough of this, we should also say we're good to go. So when that's at least 20. Then we can say on the red circuit. Oh, we've only got one output. Yeah, the red one. Cool. So these are slowly but surely filling up. Is there a reason why this isn't producing? Yeah, because we don't have iron plates coming in. The reason for that is we don't have molten iron, and the reason for that is we don't have calcite. The reason for that is we don't have oxide chunks. Okay. It would appear all of our oxide is being used up in here to make fuel. That's fair. So this is like the loading phase of the flight. So I'm thinking, actually I'm thinking this fits in here. Anywhere we can put more of them in is good. That doesn't quite reach. That would work nicely if we weren't outputting iron plates onto it. So cool, and then this can go in here. And this guy can't go there, but we can put one in here. Anywhere we can fit more of those in, it's gonna help. I don't think there is any other space on here. Why don't we have any? Because we're not making explosives. Why aren't we making explosives? We don't have coal. Why aren't we making coal? Because we don't have water, and I completely forgot to make water. Okay. So, gonna need a little bit more space. Just for the water, and we actually need 15, 20, 22.5, and this thing makes 20. So yeah, okay, technically we only need one of these to get the water we need. Where can I squeeze that in? If I put it in here, we wouldn't have enough gun ammo production. If I put it in here, that would be ideal, but this doesn't work. Guess I'll remove this. Interesting. You're gonna make me water from ice. And then I'm going to need... Totally forgot to do this. Then I'm going to need one of these. Goodbye, turret. I guess I put a turret there and there instead. You're gonna make me basic ice. So we pick up from there. We put out there only that, and we feed this like so. And we pray that this never gets blown up by a rogue asteroid. Rightio. So that's the ice melter for that. Should see it filling up eventually. Yay, okay, so that's working. That's working. Coal's being fed into here, and all of a sudden we have the explosives we needed to make those. Nice. Okay. Now I need to stop all of these from doing the wrong thing. So you enable only when that is greater than 0. And you enable only when that is greater than 0. Do the same for these. So I'll hook that up there, and up there, and that up there. Just to keep it looping. And you enable only when these greater than 0. Okay. That'll stop us from flooding the belt with too many of one type of ammo. Now the problem we're going to face is with this. If you know what, to be honest, it's fine, because this thing melts as a priority over this one. Calcite, we're waiting on forever. Cool. And how much calcite does this make? 0.44. 2. Don't want 2, so that's plenty. Plenty. Okay. I think we're all good to go. Carbon, sulfur, sulfur. Waiting on coal. Coal is waiting on sulfur. Did I get my maths wrong here? Coal, coal, carbon, carbon, carbon. This should be perfectly balanced. Problem is we're not using up this sulfur, which we need to be. Okay. So I make a loop instead. Somehow. This is getting very complicated. How do I make sure this gets put back on here? Do I use... underground belts? Do I come up with something else? Ah, I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. So you put the coal in directly, like that. We don't... Let me take from there, take from there, take from there. That should be perfectly balanced now. Okay. Anything else wrong with this design? The lack of speed control, definitely a thing. How's power? Okay. Around Novice, we've got enough power to keep this thing going. Simply because we don't have all the materials to keep all the factories running. Look at that. All of these are producing railgun ammo. All of these are producing rocket ammo. And they're not stopping. It's almost like I planned that perfectly. The only problem is the lack of gun ammo, which is because of the lack of iron, which is because of the lack of calcite going in here. That's definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. I don't really know what to do about it. Other than just wait. I think we're just gonna have to wait. Perhaps adding productivity modules in here, but nah. I'm gonna use these. Make everything more energy efficient. So that's all got energy modules. Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Efficiency. And the rest is, yeah, the front. The front of the ship is just defense. Yep. Now I could, thinking about it, I could put in asteroid reprocessing as well. Which I think is going to be how we solve this problem. Yeah, definitely need to do that. So that means reducing the amount of solar panels we've got again, but I only need 3 of these, I believe. So let's see where to put them. One here, and one here. Okay, feed it that, feed it that, feed it that, and this one is going to be processing of that, reprocessing of that, and reprocessing of that. So the way this works, output, output, and output. Nope, output. The way this works is with the red circuit. I turn that on. And with the red circuit, turn that on. We'll disable. And enable disable with the red circuit. Oh no, that was fine. Okay. Enable if space this equals 0. We do the same here, but in this case we switch it to these. And then in this case we switch it to these. So if there's enough carbonic asteroid chunks to satisfy this condition, so if they're 50, we start converting them. Simple as that. And this metallic asteroid one just kicked into gear. And then that should help us gain more of the other variants of oxide chunks. Of chunks. Cool, and then the rest of this platform is literally just gonna be accumulators. Fit one in here. And we can fit one in here. And we can fit two in there. We can fit two in there, although no, it's fine. Yep. And then that's all. That's all. Okay, and one more piece of circuit logic. Decider combinator, which is going to go here. And what this is going to do, I believe, we can hook this up to the green circuit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, this green circuit currently only has the green tick and whatever's in here being written to it. So I can put it on there, there, there. Ooh, this isn't connected anymore. Need to get a red wire from there to there to there. And then down here, here, here. Oh, why don't you reach? Go on, you can reach. Surely. Yeah, so it can reach the tank, but it can't reach that. Okay. And then what we do is we say apart from moving from signal to signal is transmitted with a value of 2. Okay. Moving from signal, this signal is transmitted with value of 2. Interesting. So we read the speed, which is v. And if v equals 0, I see. Yeah. Okay, we're good. And I think I'm actually going to set read moving 2 as well. Ah. No, that's not helpful. Because technically it says we're moving to novice, but we're actually stationary there. What about if we have instead moving from... It says novice as well. Interesting. Interesting. So if I do both, okay. And if I then say stop at novice, what do we get in here? 3. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Nice. Read speed V. Okay, and then I want a constant combinator here. That outputs V. S. No. Speed. Speed we want set to 20. How about that? For now. That's green signal. That's still fine on the green signal. So if speed, if V is less than speed and planet not equal to 3, is there a signal for any planet? Nope. Okay, so we're just gonna have to add all those conditions. Volcanus not equal to 3, and Gleba is not equal to 3, and Bulgura is not equal to 3, and Willow is not equal to, and Solar System Edge 3 not equal, and not that we're ever going to get there, but might as well put the condition in for it just in case. 3. The Solar System Edge. So if any of these are not equal to 3, outputs fuel 1. And then that fuel 1 gets sent to here, which is red circuit that everything's being put in on. So just do this. Then this will basically, that pumps fuel into the thruster. So if the speed is less than the desired speed and we're not stopped at a planet, fuel the engines. If we are stopped at the planet, or our speed is greater than this number, we don't power the engine. Cool. And now we wait, pretty much. Let's just add some of that in. should be enabled. Oh. I made a mistake. Well, glad I checked that. That's definitely a problem. That's definitely a problem. I need to move all of this. At least this. To here. Okay. It'll just have to be what that is. Okay, and then we can put more panels in. I think that's as good as that's gonna get. Can we actually squeeze in these guys? Yes, we can. Put them in there. Why not have a little extra buffer? Okay. So this should now be rolling. Temperature is heating up. But that is equal to 1 because there's currently fuel in it. Fine. And that should be enough power by a long shot. We're actually consuming 5 megawatts. We're capable of producing way more than that. 5, 10, 15, 20. So we're good. Once this powers up enough. Okay, we are waiting for... That's all good. It's all good. See, we've got rocket. The rockets are fully loaded. Yeah, and we can change the desired speed by going all the way down here for that. Might actually move this combinator up to the space pod here, and then hook it up to the hub like that. And just make sure that this still reads 20 in. Yep. Because we're reading the speed signal. Cool. I think that's it. Obviously we've got a power consumption issue. But we're almost at temperature and then all of that goes away. Boom. Power. Might make sense. Store up a bit of extra power buffer. In this case, the power buffer I'm on about isn't very intuitive, but it's actually water. Because that means whenever we need to, we can convert what we need to. And this heat doesn't actually get used up if this isn't transferring heat, so it's pretty cool. Motor is backing up. Power. Life's good. The rest of this is producing ammo. And we're still adding more and more. I'm curious actually how much we've got already stored up. Where would I see that? In here? No. In here. 300 basic ammo, 300 rocket ammo, and 80. Cool. Yeah, so if ever I need to adjust my max speed, do that here. That's it. I'm just gonna put a description in here. Set that to decide max speed, add description. And there we go. Okay, and now we wait. That's all, folks. Yeah, that's it. Made sure everything works. I did remove 2 cargo containers, which is not ideal. But I think there's still plenty of cargo space in here. So that is it for us. Thank you very much for hanging around through that mess. I'll trim what I can down for you, but it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes of recording, so I'll catch you on the flip side. Before I go, let me just make sure that I've actually saved that. Hang on. What's going on? Make sure that I've actually saved that in here. So this should be capable of flying to Aquilo and beyond Aquilo, seeing as we've got the rail guns. The only thing is, I have no idea because I haven't tested it yet. So I'll be waiting for a while until that green tick is ready to go. And then 19, we're almost there. Almost there. That should be enough ice now to get this across the 20k mark. Which means we should see a green tick. Got a green tick. Got all the thruster fuel we need, the oxidizer and the ammo. So, oh, now that I've done a few minor modifications, we save the blueprint. Before we do anything else, and then we hit go, and we are going to go to Aquilo and make sure that we can actually get there from novice in one hit. Now obviously we need to go via Gleba first because there is no direct route. If we look at the space map, from novice to Aquilo we have to go via either Gleba or Fulgora, and automatically it just picked Gleba first. Ultimately, yeah, it doesn't matter either way, because the distance from novice to Gleba is 15,000 clicks. Distance from novice to Fulgora is 15,000, and the distance between Fulgora and Aquilo is 30, and the same for Gleba and Aquilo. So either way, you end up spending the same amount of time in space. Righty-ho. Now, this is all to make sure that this thing is capable of handling the trip. So, gonna keep an eye on it. Now, obviously I've limited the max speed to 20, but because of the way that it sort of bounces off the limiter here, when it gets down to 20, we feed more fuel in, and then boom, we end up going past 20 up to 40. So actually I want to take the limiter off. I'm going to take the limiter off by making this way too high and seeing what our max speed is. That's kind of important to know. Okay, 130. Similar max speed to the slightly shorter ship as well. Maybe it's just amount of thrusters or something that dictates it. I don't know, 145 seems pretty quick to me. Will this thing be capable of handling the trip between Gleba and Aquilo at max speed? No idea. Let's find out. Now obviously this ship could be upgraded with higher quality materials, but I wanted to build it with the lowest possible tier just to make sure that it's capable of actually completing the game without quality if I choose not to use it. And we made it to Gleba all right. Now we're off onto the higher difficulty stuff, so I'm actually going to change this down to 100 and see what we get with that. So what that's going to do is stop this from receiving more fuel. Now obviously it's completely full at the moment, but then you can see it's draining fuel now pretty quickly, and then when we drop below 100 it'll add more fuel again. Boom, fuel. And that means our max speed is slightly more than what this speedo says. Minus 20. Just on average. Minus approximately 20 kilometers per second. Simply because of the fuel boost that we get. We're hitting these rocks without any problems. At the moment anyway. Mind you, I have to remember that this is with full upgrades, so it takes maybe 4 rockets to hit those. With a lower damage level, we will have to slow down. Okay, but at this damage level we can just go ham. We can set the speed up all the way and not worry about it. Because all of these launchers can hit anything in front of the ship without concern. We're already halfway to Aquilo. At this point, yeah, it's definitely speed that we're after over anything else. So the good thing about this ship is it only requires the foundries from Vulcanus. Otherwise everything else is from Novice. So we should be able to let Novice build this thing up pretty quickly, or in the background while I'm working on Vulcanus, once I get moving. So that should be so basically my strategy is going to be build the ship to get to Vulcanus, and then once I reach Vulcanus, start building this ship at Novice while I'm expanding Vulcanus. And that way, as soon as we're ready to leave, we could even have this ship transport materials around the place, like around the basic planets, while we wait for... Ooh, we've got an ammo issue. Not really surprising considering the length of this belt, but I think we're okay. Let's keep an eye on ammo. 700. Oh, why are we going back now? No, I wanted to stop at Aquilo. Oh, I didn't add any weight conditions. All requests satisfied. Circuit condition. Green tick. Greater than 0. Whoops. But the point is, at this tech level at least, we can very easily get to Aquilo with this ship. And there's not a single... Excuse me. There's not a single quality module or a quality piece of machinery on here. Nice. So now what I'm going to do, we should see this relatively low on fuel. This is completely out of fuel, to be fair. So yeah, this is going to take a while to load back up. It's because we went full blast and had without any consideration for processing time or anything. If we say change the speed down to, say, I don't know, I think 50 is probably a safe bet. Once we get fuel and load it up, I'm going to actually add a station, the solar system edge, followed by the shattered planet. And what we're going to do is hit all requests satisfied. Not that we can actually satisfy any requests there, so what I'm going to do instead is ignore that condition and just say green tick greater than 0, carry on. I don't know what this means. Add fly condition. But I do need an interrupt in here. Low nuclear fuel. And the way this works is condition, item count. What are these? These things. Less than 5. Less than 5. 5 is good. And that's fine. When uranium fuel cells are less than 5, add interrupt station, go to novice, add wait condition, item count, this thing greater than 30. Oh, you can interrupt interrupts if you tick that. That's crazy, but I only need the one interrupt. Low nuclear fuel interrupt. This will fly us straight back to novice. Edit interrupt. No, that's it. That's fine. That'll fly us straight back to novice. No questions asked. That's it. I'm going to actually save this blueprint again now that I've added those wait conditions and the interrupt. That'll make sure. So this is... Yeah, we're good. I like this. Right. We've test run it all the way up to Aquilo. The next stage... The next stage is to test run it the rest of the way. Why are we still so low on fuel? Oh, because we're low on carbon. Okay. So this time it's not the ice, this time it's the carbon. Very interesting. Just gonna make sure that heats up nicely. You know what? I've changed my mind about these. Shouldn't be on that. Yeah, I'm gonna remove these from the red network. And just put them on their own. When is greater than 30. And now these are on 50. but I just prefer that. We'll do the same here. When carbon's greater than 3. And this one's, yep, the same with this. And that is greater than 30. And then we read from here. Read all belts and remove the red circuit there. Okay. Slight tweak that will ensure that we've got enough of each type of resource constantly flooding in. We've got a buffer of 20 extra of the variants, and these will filter out the excess when there's more. I think we can get away with more than that, can't we? So how much belt is there on this section? To here. 100. Here we have 10, 20, 140 times 1, 2, 3, 4. It's basically 400. So yeah, we can up this actually to 120 or something. Yeah, let's up this to 100. No harm in that. No harm in that at all. And then these would need to change to 80. And 80. And actually, you know what? I think 80 is a bit much. Go with. Let's go with. Yeah, you know what? 30 is. No. That's too much. 50. Yeah, 50. Because we do want to be able to actually. Yeah, that's fine. So 80%. So we are actually reducing the amount of these that we've got. But because we're storing up to 100, I think it's fine. Okay. All these little tweaks take up time, but they're important. So I think that's good. As it is now. That'll be good enough for the run, definitely. Assuming that we've got a green tick. No, we're still waiting on something. Still waiting on thruster fuel and ammo. 19k, what's the speed limit set to? 50. Okay. Let's hold it on 50, which is basically 70 for now, and see what we can get away with. Right, we're launching. We're actually on the move again. Okay, we were able to take that out. See, we're firing on these asteroids far out to the sides, which are a bit excessive, to be honest, but it's fine, because we can always pick up the resources with these. All those. Nice. Alright, we're maintaining 70-ish. an eye on our ammo quantities. Haven't shot a single railgun shot yet. That thing's got 200 kills on it. This thing's got no kills. This rocket turret's got 45 already. You got 46. Nice. Something's out of ammo. This rocket turret is out of ammo. Jeez. Definitely slightly concerning. Is that just because of this? Probably. Oh, look at this. Well, we were able to fight that off nicely. We're losing a lot of asteroid chunks to smashing into our ship, but for the most part we're good here. We've gone past Aquilo. Oh no, we just left Aquilo. Honestly, what am I like? We've got 2 kills on that one already. Okay. I didn't see them. I was too busy looking at numbers, I guess. Maintaining 900 ammo at this speed. Not quite. We're actually losing rocket ammo. Snipe. There he goes. We've got a kill. At this point, I'm convinced that we can make it all the way to the solar system edge with this ship. Not particularly quickly, but we can make it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to sit here and watch this. I think I'll speed up the footage for you guys. And then once I get there, we'll be done here. And we can actually get started with a run, finally. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming now. Will I actually be able to do it? Probably not. Will I do my best? Absolutely. Hopefully that's good enough to entertain at least. Even if not that, then hope you enjoy the journey one way or another. And thanks for joining me on this crazy ride. Alright, the last 10 kilometers. I just noticed that there's a couple of asteroids getting pretty close to the back of my ship here. I think I'm still perfectly safe. Spreading the railguns out anymore might be a good idea. Like, I could put them out here. Just about. But I think... I mean, I haven't been hit once on this whole trip. Yet. So, I think we're okay to leave them where they are. Alright. That's all the proof I need to know that this ship can help me win the game. I'm not going to upload that. Huh. I'm not going to upload that because this is a test world. No point uploading it. But yeah, I'm going to take a look at the recording to see how long that took. I'll put it up on the splash screen so I know exactly how quickly this vessel can make it through the asteroid mayhem that is Aquilo to the system edge. The rest of this trip will be getting to the shattered planet by 60,000 kilometers. I'm fairly certain that that this thing is capable of doing that, so I will let it crawl on at some point just to make sure. But in the meantime, thank you very much for sticking around through that mess, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks, turrets. Okay, I get the I get the idea. I get it. I think there's a flaw in the design. Turns out standing still is more dangerous than moving in this ship.